Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Von Biggs, and let's queer up health. New report shows 15% of the world's population are living with STIs, but 35% for LGBTQ. A startling new study in sexually transmitted infections reveals that 15% of the world's population, including 35% of the LGBTQ individuals, live with incurable genital herpes. Researchers estimate that in 2020, over 846 million globally were infected with herpes simplex virus, HSV, with 42 million new cases reported that year alone. Despite antiviral treatments reducing symptoms and transmission risk, the stigma and health impacts remain significant, especially within queer communities. Among LGBTQ affected, the numbers were overwhelmingly gay and bisexual men. Advocates stress the urgent need to new treatments and vaccines to address these growing numbers. The report draws into question as to why LGBTQ are facing more than double the number of incurable STIs compared to their heterosexual counterparts. This global health crisis emphasizes the importance of education, awareness, and funding for STI prevention and care, particularly for the LGBTQ community. You know, the fact that 35% of the LGBTQ individuals are living with incurable is a stark reminder that our health disparities and community faces. We must ensure that everyone in our community has access to accurate information and prevention measures that are necessary for healthcare services. The fight against STIs is not a medical issue. It's a social issue. Yeah. And that requires collective action and dedication. So let's use this report as a catalyst for change.
Yeah, you know, and again, Holy Cross is a safe space for you to go to if you need to know what you have, right? Knowing your status all across the board is super important, right? We've talked about the disparities that we have between healthcare and LGBTQ. I even talked on my show last week about someone had sent me an email on Dear Faye What asking me why their doctor was sex shaming them. Right? A doctor that they went to, that they told their history to, they told how active they were, but they were trying to be a safe slut, right? You know, by making sure that, that they didn't get anything, that their partners weren't affected. And instead of getting support, he got a doctor who sex shamed him, you know? And my immediate answer was, go to Holy Cross, go to CAN, go to Pride Lines, go somewhere else, because it's just, you don't need to go through that anymore in this day and age. We have LGBTQ certified practitioners, right, that understand your needs because they're in community. And we have allies that also understand your needs and are in community. You know, when you talk about STIs, especially you said herpes, someone can have a flare up and you have no, you know, and you have no idea. So you think it's like, oh, I went to have sex with them and I didn't see a lesion. I didn't see anything. They don't, maybe they weren't showing at that time, but yeah, you're walking away with a new present.
You know, the Bears in December for our pool party, we had CAN Community Health come out with their mobile unit and they did HIV and STI testing, and it was a good success for us and very participant, you know. So the Bears are trying to step up to make themselves aware of it.
It's so important. It's so important. Edward, what do you think?
Well, we've partnered with AHF here, and in one of our concerts as our sponsors, they did some testing in front of for our Pride concert last year rather. So yeah, we definitely love our partners. Holy Cross is also one of our partners too, so we definitely get out the word with them. We have, you know, a 200+ membership, so, you know, health is always on all of our minds as well. So we're always big advocates.
You know, I want to say it's interesting because I know at Holy Cross, you know, we have some programs and people come in through the emergency department and get tested, and it's surprising the numbers.
Were you surprised at 35%? That's a high-ass number, Vaughn. That's
I was.
huge.
I mean, it shows our lack of education and our lack of not caring when it comes to sex.
Well, how about if it's not, maybe it's not not caring. Maybe it's just fear, you know?
Or ignorance.
Or ignorance, or just saying, you know, the F it button. Nothing's going to happen to me. I'm not going to get it, or I'm not going to give it to someone.
Superman, right?
You know, or you see that hot piece of chocolate twink looking all rico and yummy, and you can't wait to unwrap it, you know, and you're not thinking of what can happen tomorrow, and you should.
Right.
All the blood from your brain has moved out. But I do find it fascinating that we're doing this story on the day that a man who is the personification of a recurring herpes lesion is returning to the Oval Office.
Wow. So that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ plus stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Was that okay?
That was hilarious. Oh my God.